There it is. All right, about 90 seconds, we're going to pass another one over here on the port side. Now, these guys are, it's what's called a kedge anchor. Believe it or not, it's not a ship's anchor. Back in the day, in the 1830s, 40s, and 50s, the village of Lahaina was one of the busiest ports in the Pacific. We had vessels from all over the world anchoring up here, but mainly they were coming from the northeastern coast of the mainland. They were merchant whaling vessels, and they were sailing all the way down the coast of the mainland, down around the tip of South America, and up into the southern Pacific, where there were lots and lots of whales. They would hunt whales, and then in order to make the return trip home, which could take 6 to 9 months, they'd have to stop somewhere and take on fresh food, fresh water, and make repairs to their vessels. And it was only a 7-8 day sail from the whaling grounds to Hawaii, so that's what they would do. They'd sail up here to this beautiful calm spot known as the Au Channel, and that's what we're cruising around in right now. And so, you know, sometimes when they pull into harbor, the winds would be howling. You'd have, you know, 20, 30, 40 knot winds. And in these old wooden boats, you got to remember, this is before the advent of the steam engine or the internal combustion engine, any of that stuff. They would have to slow themselves down. So they'd take one of these anchors and they would throw it off the back or the stern of the boat and drag it along the bottom and use it as a brake to slow themselves down. So it was a very useful tool, but it was much, much smaller than their ship's anchors. Ship's anchors were 5, maybe 7 times bigger than that. You're talking about 10, 12,000 pound chunks of metal, whereas these weigh maybe, you know, a tenth of that. Anyhow, we are going to be pulling up here on the North Reef, and port side, you guys are going to get the first views this time. Alrighty guys, on the starboard side, I want you to look out and look down. Look straight down. And you, hopefully, are going to get an opportunity to see something rather unusual. Not many people get to see. Where are these little guys? Where are they? They were right there on the bottom. Anyway, on the laying down on the bottom. Oh, first of all, there is a rather large barracuda sitting very, very still. All right, if your starboard side looks straight out, right near the Halimeda algae down low, and you can see him camouflaged right there. He's just about amidships. That is a big, beautiful, healthy barracuda who's just hanging out. And got those white-tip reef sharks on the move. I think they headed up behind the reef.
He swam back towards the stern.
So keep your eyes peeled. We've got a couple. Yeah, they're giving us a hard time today. They're not cooperating. You know, they are not on the payroll. So we can't exactly say, all right, I want you there at exactly 11:42, and I want you to lay down on the bottom. But there is one, say, white-tip reef shark laying down on the bottom. Now these guys, everybody goes, that shark's not real, that shark's not alive, that shark's got to be fake, because sharks can't lay down on the bottom or they'll suffocate. Well, that's not the case. It is the case for a certain segment of sharks, what are known as pelagic sharks. The big fellas, the hammerheads, the great whites, the tigers, the makos, the blue sharks, the pool sharks, the card sharks. Those guys have to continuously swim. and they are hardwired to swim just like you and I are hardwired to breathe. All right, it's part of our autonomic nervous system. We don't think about our breathing, we can regulate it a little bit. Same with those guys, they can regulate their breathing a little bit, but they must continuously move in order to survive. Whereas these guys, what are known as a regional shark, have the ability to lay right down on the bottom and rest. They use a system of respiration called buccal pumping. And they can create a suction with their mouth, and every time they open their mouth, they can pull water into their mouths and force it out across their gill plates, therefore oxygenating their blood and allowing them to rest. A beautiful shot of that female. That's a female white-tip reef shark. The reason I can tell is that she doesn't have the dangly bits. Yeah, no. The males have what are called claspers, which are their reproductive organs. Long two, 6-8 inch black tubes that hang out underneath their belly. And it's a very easy way to determine whether the animal is male or female. These guys are dimorphic, meaning the females tend to be a little bit larger than the males. They can get upwards of about 6 feet, not much bigger. And the males end up being about 5 to 5.5 feet when they are fully grown. Alrighty, port side, keep your eyes peeled. Every so often I want you to bring your line of sight up and out. Look deep into the underwater horizon, because it's there you may spot an unusual critter. Oh, like that one right there. If you guys look out and look down, you're going to see a spotted eagle ray. One of the most elegant animals you will ever see in the ocean. They are a close relative of the manta ray. Not so closely related, believe it or not, to the stingray. They don't have a stinger, per se. Their main defense is like the vast majority of underwater inhabitants here in the channel is their camouflage. Lots of critters have the ability to change the color of their skin to match their environment. And these guys really, they have this incredible patterning where they have those white spots on that brown background. And they just can disappear in a field like this. And look at these. Here's an eel and some bluefin trevallies that are hunting together. If you look straight down on the port side, you're going to witness another unusual phenomenon known as cross-species hunting. So keep your eyes peeled for a yellow margin moray eel to pop out of that little coral head. Starboard side. Oh, you guys are getting a view of that beautiful spotted eagle ray. He's got his nose into the current. Now, in Hawaiian, their name is hihimanu, which means elegant bird. Main reason being is they appear to be flying through the water as opposed to swimming through it.
That shark down there.
And they're one of the fastest creatures you'll probably ever see in the water. They've been clocked at over 50 miles an hour. So when they get startled or something tries to attack them, they can just literally disappear. And whoever's trying to get them has ended up looking pretty foolish because it happens in an instant. Port side, if you guys look out, you're going to see another one of our resident species that is kind of interesting. It's called a bullet-head parrotfish. You can see there was a female over there. She's two-toned. She's dark gray in the front, lighter gray in the back. The males are a little bit more colorful, sort of like peacocks. They're an iridescent green and dark blue. And